Good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Russo here, your summer eClass principal, coming to you live from Young and Shepherd at the Catholic Education Center at 80 Shepherd Avenue East. I can tell that a lot of you are already asking questions, which is amazing. So I'm just going to jump right into it. First and foremost, just going to mute my broadcast here. I've got the chat streaming on the right-hand side. It's really nice to meet everyone. And that's the reason why we're having these sessions is as the summer eClass principal, I wanted to have opportunities for you to get to know me and to meet me and to ask questions. As your online principal, I wanted you to be able to put a face to a name. I wanted you to get your questions answered, and I wanted to minimize that gap between, or that distance between, myself and yourself. So just turning it over to the chat area. As I'm going through the chats, or what's entered into the chat area, rather, friendly reminder that how we conduct ourselves online is quite important and sensitive as it is public. And should there be any need for me to block the chat from someone, then I can do that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to start from the very top, but I do want to mention that these YouTube sessions, they are in no way, shape, or form mandatory. These are sessions for you to jump on if it's convenient for you to join me live and to ask questions live. And I'll try to give you that feedback and that information live. If you're unable to join, then it would be wise for you to catch a recording here and there, just because if other students are asking questions, chances are you're going to have that same question, and rather than send me an email and wait for a response, or rather than trying to call us, if you can quickly glance through the video, you'll get your answer and it'll move you along. Okay? All right, so the program officially starts tomorrow, July the 3rd. It just so happens to be the case that when TCDSB students were registered by their guidance counselors, that they received information indicating that the program starts today. That would have been the 2018 summer school information. So sorry about the mix-up there. In terms of the back end, it's not the guidance counselor's fault. It's just a matter of making sure that the information I forwarded it on was put into an application that was to give you that auto response after you were registered. So officially, again, just confirming, we are starting our program on Wednesday, July the 3rd. Okay? Okay. So before I go to the chat, again, I remembered a couple of things that are really important pieces of information in setting you up for success. Number one, officially we start on Wednesday. So please, if you are logging in, please do not submit any work. I know that teachers in the background are setting up their courses, and they would love for them, for you to introduce yourself and reach out and say, hi, miss. Hi, sir. My name is Joe. I'm just letting you know I was successfully able to log in, and I'm looking forward to this online course. That'd be great. But teachers also know that registration is far from over. Teachers know that registration for session one closes on Friday for session one, which means we're still accepting students, which means that we're going to be balancing courses, and that's just a fancy term that's referring to making sure we have a reasonable amount of students in each of the courses. So you may be logging in today and seeing Mrs. Smith as your teacher, but tomorrow you may log in and see Mr. Russo, not myself, as your teacher. So you may see a different teacher in the next day or so, just because we can't have courses that are lopsided in terms of the number of students that are in there. So I hope that helps. Nothing to worry about on your end when it comes to making sure you hand in work late or on time this week. Officially, teachers know that the first submission in terms of an assignment or upload of something that is due would be end of day on Monday of next week, simply because we have to give students that time, especially those that are registering late, as late as the afternoon on Friday of this week. We have to give them time to log in, access material, and have a little bit of a smooth transition so they can start by Monday afternoon in terms of submitting their first piece of work. So if they log in on Friday and they have the weekend to catch up, then they have some time on Monday as well. But by end of day, we're looking at teachers receiving their first official upload and sharing of assignments through the virtual learning environment, the course. Okay, that just reminded me. So what you're working on right now is our e-learning platform. Our e-learning platform is known as the virtual learning environment. But if you do contact D2L in terms of support, their product is called Brightspace. Okay, we just call it the virtual learning environment for the sake of the Ministry of Education, who sponsors the tool for all Ontario school boards. So I'm just I've jotted down a few points here based on the comments that have been shared and questions that have been shared in the chat. Just going to review here that if you are, just a couple of, again, simple housekeeping items. If you are a non-Toronto Catholic District School Board student, which means you're from a different board, which means you've graduated potentially, and were a part of the TCDSB at one point, you definitely have a different student number. Okay, so if you're from the Toronto District, aside from welcome, of course, but if you're from the Toronto District School Board, then your student number, not your OEN number, but your student number would be different. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if teachers are providing mark updates and the mark updates are recorded or reported rather by student number, then you wouldn't be able to see what your student number is, or locate your mark rather, because your student number would be different than the one you would have at your school board. So that's the first thing I wanted to point out. The second thing I wanted to point out is around the logins. So non-TCDSB students, you know that your login, your username, is going to be your OEN number. This is a number that you can find on a report card or credit counseling summary. It is completely different and separate from your student number. Okay? And we also know that if you don't have a password already, you can email eRegister. And I know that you've been emailing eRegister, but as you can imagine, we have a program in the thousands in terms of number of students that have registered. We are working behind the scenes, trying to make sure that everyone receives, a response within 24 to 48 hours. Just given the volume, it's a matter of volume. No matter how many people we have supporting the program, it is significant volume. And again, you're working with various applications, so it does take a little bit of time. So, if you are, again, in need of communicating an issue or something that you need help with when it comes to accessing your course, not your subject matter and questions related to your subject, but if there's anything related to your login and accessing your course, then please contact us at eregister@tcdsb.org, eregister@tcdsb.org, as well as the preferred extension for you to use at this time is 2813. So 416-222-8282, extension 2813 would be the preferred extension. And that's it. So I'm just going to have a look at the chat area. And so in terms of these YouTube sessions, they're not mandatory. I just wanted to introduce myself. I wanted to make contact with everyone as much as possible. And again, you can jump in and just listen in case someone else is already asking a question, or you can ask the question that someone is not asking because you need that information. So I'm looking at what should you do if your in-class course gets canceled. So that's a great question, Nicole. A little bit of a sidetrack in terms of sharing specific e-learning information here, but I will address it. Um, it has come to my attention that a lot of face-to-face day school courses may be canceled in the next 24 hours. So if you wish to register with e-learning, with our e-learning program, then you can do so in the following ways. Now listen carefully. Number one, if you're a non-Toronto Catholic student, then you're going to have to register online. And by registering online, you can go to www.tcdsb.org/ or backslash, I don't remember, continuing ad. And then once you're there, you would set up an account, you would register, you would print off your registration form, have it signed by your counselors, your parents, and then you can send it our way through eregister@tcdsb.org. If you are a Toronto Catholic student, then the preferred way for you to register would be through your guidance counselor at your day school. If that's not possible, then what you're going to have to do is go into a summer school site, and you're probably already at a site because you're saying that you had registered at a face-to-face in-class site. You're going to need a registration form. You're going to need your parents to sign off on the registration form. You indicate your request. And again, you're going to have to send it over to eregister@tcdsb.org. If you wish to drop it off in person, that's great as well. 80 Shepherd Avenue East between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Okay? So that's it in terms of registration. Hello, Mr. Russo. I am taking 2 summer e-class courses, but I am only able to see one of the courses on my page. So that could be for various reasons. If it's a session 1 course, they should be ready to go. If it's a session 2 course and it's not up, then that means that I still need to assign a teacher to it. So it should start appearing within the next 3 or 4 days. Okay? How does your attendance get recorded? So your attendance gets recorded based on logging in. So if I go to any course right now, or your teacher goes into their course, there is a page called class list, and then we'll be able to see your the last time that you've actually logged in. You should be logging in daily. I always get the question, how many hours should I be online? And I can't answer that perfectly because every course is set up different, right? Every course is set up differently. You've got courses where you've got a lot of reading online and you've got to interact with what's being shared in the content. So you literally have to be online. And then you got some courses where you may have some reading material and then you can actually read it offline, participate in, creating your essay and, your presentations and so on and so forth offline. And then once it's all ready to go, you upload it and share it. So it really depends on how your course is set up. That's a good question for you to ask your teacher in terms of, how long should I be online? You should be definitely logging in every day and making sure that your calendar is up to date and that you know when things are due, when your teacher's available for help. All of these things should be in your calendar because I tell you, we're here barely 4 weeks and things happen really fast. Okay? How does our attendance get recorded? I addressed that. What time will you be posting the assignment? So I don't post anything. I'm your principal. That's a question more geared towards your teacher. And so again, the best piece of advice I can give you is log in every day. I would set up notifications in your profile. You can actually click on your name, and then there's a tab where you can go into, or a page called notifications, and then you can select which notifications you wish to receive. And definitely I would subscribe to the notification indicating that a teacher has shared a new announcement in the course. So your email that we have on file will send you an email, or will receive an email indicating that something new is happening in your course. Come back into the course and get up to date. Okay? I'm just wondering, okay, if you're in session 2, when will your course appear? In the next few days, as soon as I finish this broadcast. I'm going to try to get to some registration and work with the team, but I'm also going to be trying to hire teachers because we've had an increase in enrollment in the last 48 hours, probably because of courses being canceled at face-to-face summer school locations. So is it a must that we have to do it within this time, or can we do it? Yeah, so e-learning is e-learning. It's available 24/7. Now, your teacher's not available 24/7. Let's be clear on that. But e-learning is available 24/7. You can log in and get up to date, at your convenience. But at the same time, um, working late at night might be difficult. So it's obviously more ideal for you to have a chunk of time throughout the day if possible. Is there a website we do our work on? Yeah, the website, again, this program information was all shared, folks, in the program information update way back in May. It's also available on our website at www.tcdsb.org/eClass. All that program information has been there since May 3rd or 4th, I believe, okay? And it was also shared when you registered. So the website is tcdsb.elearningontario.ca. And I'm going to mention this again if I haven't already. I know I mentioned this in the program update, the flyer that's available to help you in terms of summarizing all the key dates, the midterms, finals, and so on and so forth. Use Google Chrome as your internet browser, as you will encounter issues if you use Explorer, okay? I'm wondering, no, I answered that question already. I need to know who my teacher is, and I can't find their email. Okay, so it's quite simple. When you are in your course, look for a tool called Class List. So you're going to be searching the various icons. I'm not gonna demo for you because I want you to poke around and go into all of the different icons that you see in the navigation bar once you're in your course. But basically, once you get to Class List, you're going to get to a page where you're going to see a whole bunch of students. You're going to see a whole bunch of people, right, in terms of their names. You're going to click on the name of your teacher. How are you going to know? Well, there's a column that's called role, and the role of your teacher will be teacher. So once you identify who the teacher is, if you want to send them an email, just click on their name. A separate window will open up for you to compose a message and for you to send them an email. And that's their email. Okay? Where do I get my assignments? Again, you're going to look for the announcements that your teacher is going to share. Usually in the announcements, there could be links that are shortcuts to your assignments, or you can visit the content page in your course, and then you'll be able to navigate from there in terms of the content, but also, which assignments belong to which parts of the content. Okay? Again, you should be logging in daily, and if you have questions, you should be reaching out to your teacher through email, and do that sooner than later. Because if you're logging in at 7 o'clock at night, but something is due by midnight, well, you should be sort of, logging in a little bit earlier than that, reaching out to your teacher and asking your teacher, for any kind of advice or feedback around whatever is due, to give them time. Because just imagine that if you've got 30 plus students that are randomly making a request to a teacher saying, I need help with this, or can you provide feedback on this, the teacher needs to understand how quickly things need to be turned over and sent back. But it's not just the time, it's the quality of the feedback, right? So you got to give them time and notice and specific questions and specific instruction around what you're looking for in terms of feedback, just so that you, again, get that quality, timely feedback to help you progress and move forward. Okay? What happens if we are busy some days and can't do the work? There's really not much difference than day school, right? If you know things are due, if you know that things are coming up and you're in need of some kind of, partnership with your teacher, you can't just tell them that same day, something came up, I can't hand something in. I can understand that things do come up and happen, but you've got to be, fair to the process here. You've got to keep up your end of the bargain, and you've got to email, and you've got to say, sir, miss, it's Monday. I'm just giving you notice that on Thursday of this week, I have this coming up, and I would appreciate it if I can have an extra hour to submit my work. I don't know, have that conversation, right? Teachers can't guess when you're going to be online and when you're not going to be online. You got to work on that relationship whereby you got to share information on a timely basis, right? So just looking at so many good questions here. How can you find your course? Okay, so as soon as you log in, you'll notice that depending on the device that you're using, if you're working on a laptop, there is a 3x3, looks like a waffle. If you click on that waffle, then you'll find your course in there, okay? Just to keep it simple. If you're working on a tablet or a mobile device, the website responds to the size of the screen. And again, you're going to look for that waffle icon, that 3x3 grid. And once you click on that, you'll find your course. If you need help finding your course because you see so many listed, then you can search amongst your course offerings by using the keyword 2019SS, all one word, 2019SS. And if you're in session 2, you would use 2019SS2, all one word. And then you'll notice that your course will pop up. Pin it up at the top. That way it'll always remain at the top once you go and find your courses. Okay? This is my first time doing an e-learning course. Thank you so much for your honesty. I was wondering, how will my mark be updated and will it be on my report card? Definitely. The only thing that's different between what you've done in the past in a face-to-face course compared to now, in e-learning, everything is virtual. That's it. Marks are processed the same way. Report cards are processed in the same way, and then a copy of report cards are sent to your school. If you are a non-Toronto Catholic student, then your report card has to be picked up, and then you physically have to take it over to your school, your non-Toronto Catholic school, in order to update your records. So that's a great point for you to raise. If you're I'm going to repeat this again. If you're a non-Toronto Catholic student, you're physically going to have to pick up your report card and bring it over to your day school or your school board so that they can update your records. Okay? All right. Great question. How long is one class in a day? Again, there's no dedicated period. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., log in, introduce yourself to your teacher, poke around. I'm sure that they're going to be setting up announcements, a calendar. And if you're not clear on what's there and you need, again, a little bit more clarification, just send them an email. That's it. Do we instant message our teachers saying we are here for attendance? No, you don't have to do that. But if you know that your teacher is online because they've specified a specific set of hours that they're going to be online, then you may want to use the instant chat feature. It's totally up to you and the teacher. Okay. Do we have to use our Google Classroom? No, you're working on the virtual learning environment as an e-learning platform. If your teacher chooses to share, Google Documents or documents via G Suite tools, again, it really depends because not everyone is a Toronto Catholic student, so not everyone is going to have access to the Toronto Catholic Google accounts. And so that's something that wouldn't easily be necessarily something that teachers can get around. Okay. Hi, sir. The entire website crashed for me. My content is not displayed. Well, if that's the case, then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to contact D2L in terms of support, and then they'll be able to understand why things have crashed. Is it your browser? Is it the version of your browser? Is it your computer that's causing any kind of breakdown as to why the website's not displaying? Okay, so once you log in, there's an icon at the very top of the page called, well, top third of the page, in the middle of the page, it's called D2L Support. You can contact them 3 ways, either through email, instant chat, or through phone. Okay. I'm confused. How's this going to work? Well, you have a student orientation course, right? So you have a course where you can actually go in and there's a whole bunch of videos and content that teach you how to navigate all the tools within your online course. To begin with, you log in. And then from there, you find your course. And then from there, there'll be a whole bunch of instructions via announcements right on the home page, the first page of your course. And then you go from there. And I also mentioned that if you need further clarification, in order to find your teacher, you're going to select class list as an icon, okay? It'll be in one of the icons within the navigation bar. And then once you click on class list, you'll find your teacher because they'll be the one that's assigned the role of teacher in that class list. Just click on the name of the teacher. You'll be able to it'll open up a window for you to compose a message and to send them a message. Okay? And then you can go from there. How do we get the password to start the course? Again, e-register at tcdsb.org. And I tell you right now, we're at about 500 emails. And as soon as I'm off the broadcast, that's where I'm going. I'm going into e-register to try and help students register and get their password so they can start on time tomorrow. Okay? I would like to know, just 1 second here. I would like to know, the question came in. I lost my spot here. I would like to know, when is the start of session 2? July 16th. Have any e-classes been or will be canceled? Great question, Nicholas. Great question. So I literally have the list in front of me, and some classes numbers are low. So we should have made that announcement on Friday. If there are going to be any cancellations, look for that notice by the end of day today. Okay, whether it be the the website, www.tcdsb.org/eClass. You can follow me on Twitter, which is at TCDSB and then we'll inform you if any classes have been canceled. Okay. I'll also have as much staff as possible to try and reach out and give you a call and say, Katie, so-and-so, unfortunately, the course that you've registered in, the enrollment is low. Can I suggest a different course? And then we'll help you get into a different course. Okay. Great question. Thank you for bringing that up. If you can't see your classes yet, that means that you need to, you'll see them within the next day or so if they're in session 1. If they're for session 2, you'll see them in about 3-4 days. That just means I need to assign a teacher. So that's coming because we're trying to accommodate as many students as possible. There's been, again, a significant influx of students that are registering very last minute right now, and that's putting a little bit of a strain on launching everyone successfully. Thank goodness the majority of you are good to go, and you have your course shell, you've logged in, and you're in your student orientation course, so you're off and going. So just looking at other courses, I see my name in both sessions. How do I know which one is my class? So that's another great question, Joseph. Thank you. So we're constantly making changes, right? So at one point, you may have been registered in one class, and then you were switched over to another class because we're trying to balance the number of students that are in each section. So if you're in that situation where you have 2 courses that are the same, and you're trying to understand which one is your main course, send eRegister an email, eRegister@tcdsb.org, and we will confirm that for you. Okay, and I apologize for that confusion. That just means on the automation side of things that we need to update our records, and I've sent a request to IT. I've sent a request to IT, and then we're going to send an updated file to D2L to process all of those enrollment changes. Okay. I'm just looking at the time, 1 more minute to go. We do have another session this afternoon. If you want to join in so that we continue our chat, this afternoon, the session is at 2 o'clock to 2:30. It'll be pretty much more of the same, other than any other questions that I haven't answered that were shared. Let's see here. Does our teacher post lessons, or is it more independent? There will be content, there will be lessons, and then there may be parts of your content that the teacher interacts with more with you. That all depends on the teacher's style. It all depends on the activities and how things are set up. Okay? Hi, Joe. I'm supposed to have chemistry and English online classes, but so far I can only see my English class and not my chemistry class. Vincent, again, if it's not there, just send us an email and we'll try to give you an update, okay? Can you sign in anytime to do work? Yes, you can. But make sure that you're organized and make sure you know when your due dates are happening and make sure you give your teacher time if you need feedback, okay? If you are traveling and doing an e-learning course, nothing changes. I hope you have a great travel, great experience, but you're still responsible, right? You're still responsible for logging in daily. And that's all I can say. There really are no possibilities of a blackout period, even if it is 48 hours, because we are only, around for 3.5 weeks. So for anyone to take off a chunk of time, I don't think it's a good idea. So you signed up because clearly you need to take the course. If you are unavailable or unable to participate, then you can request, for you to drop the course and go from there, okay? Because we don't want to say that you can do a program in 10 days when it actually takes 20. We want to make sure you're set up for success. We're not trying to turn anyone away in terms of an opportunity, but you also have to put in your time, right? And be fair and consistent to everyone that's in the program. So if you know that you're going to be, away from a computer for 24 hours, say, then you should let your teacher know. Okay? Okay. Just being mindful of the time. I'll keep stock of all the questions. And the biggest things, though, is that login information, all of that stuff is available on our eClass site. If you need clarification, e-register at tcdsb.org. Again, welcoming everyone. Thank you so much. We do, again, have a broadcast today at 2 p.m. Please join me then or watch the recording. Again, you'll have that opportunity. I think I set up like 9 YouTube live sessions to connect with you. They're not mandatory at all. Again, it's just an opportunity to introduce myself, connect with you, look at those questions, and let me think about what you're thinking in terms of need and support, and then we can, go from there. Okay, so again, I'll be online at 2 p.m. today. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.